Hello and welcome to this week's Hot Chips Gaming Podcast. I am Amy. Today we have Theo, we have Jordan, and we have Reagan.
Hi.
I'm introducing everyone, unlike last week where I just mentioned myself and it was a bit of a fail.
We did all get names, like underneath our faces,
I did
which
the
was
graphic
good.
work.
Yeah, which is appreciated.
Yeah,
Otherwise, no one would have known.
No, I just didn't introduce anyone. So here we are, ready to start talking about some more gaming news that's happening. First things first, ketchup time.
Ketchup time.
All right.
Shall we launch right into it?
Yeah. Oh, we're doing straight me. Kicking off with me.
You did it last time, so
yeah,
it's a good starting point.
So my two little things for catch-up time this week are about charity, gaming for charity. So there are a whole number of groups for gaming for charity in New Zealand. They're all doing their own little things, coming and going, awesome little teams. The two coming up though, there's a new suicide awareness stream from a new guy who's getting into gaming events and is trying to do his part, and he's been affected by a lot of things in his life that he wants to share and sort of give back to. Cool. He's creating this stream for September 11th and 12th. It's going between the 2 days. And it's just going to be a whole bunch of tournaments and fun play and things and sharing memories from loved ones and that kind of thing. So it's a real good initiative to get behind and he's slowly building it up. And
is it over the 2 days?
It's over the 2 days,
so
yeah.
Like 24 hours?
Yeah. Cool. I believe. I haven't double checked, but it's got those 2 days on
What's
it.
his Twitch?
Yeah, how do we find it?
What's his Twitch? I don't know how to find it.
It's here.
I can't remember the URL because it's a Facebook event. So I'd be like facebook.com/event 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We will find the details and pop them.
We will.
Okay,
let's go. So he's an Auckland guy, is he?
Yeah, no, he's. I think he's Christchurch.
Okay, cool.
He's down in Christchurch, but everyone's involved. Everyone's on. So a lot of us from the gaming community coming and helping him set it all up and talk to sponsors and things like that. It's getting really, really nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the other one is KiwiCasts Rebuild Christchurch, and I can say that's on facebook.com/KiwiCast because
excellent.
I know that one.
Cool. So this is the guys that were going to stream, and then we had some technical hiccups, and now back.
Yeah, there were a few technical hiccups with the last KiwiCast stream, but yeah, they're back and they're going to do the stream, and we're actually going to be joining them. I'm going to be playing some Left 4 Dead 2 with a bunch of my friends on with them as well to help support their little cause, and that's happening right after on September 12th and 13th. So there's a bit of crossover on these two these two charity events, but a lot of good heart going into that and a lot of great work as well.
Awesome.
So if you want 4 days of awesome New Zealand streaming,
coming at you.
And funnily
be
enough,
excited
it's the same time as Ping Zero.
Oh really?
Wow.
So it's just like you go to Ping Zero LAN and you watch charity
Spread
streams.
this stuff out, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. So Ping Zero, that's happening in Auckland.
It's happening in Auckland September 11th, 12th and 13th.
Oh, wicked.
Yikes.
Right.
Packed weekend.
Very packed
Gaming
weekend.
Bonanza. That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah. And then
Gaming Bonanza weekend. I love
Bonanza.
Anyway.
That's my catch up. So I believe you have a catch up.
Cool. I wanted to just quickly mention the fact that we have a real channel now and that you should subscribe to it because obviously.
You're already here.
Why not?
There's
watching
a
it somehow.
sub button here.
And not only that, but we also have Twitter, which you can use to keep up to date with when we're releasing videos and whatnot. And we've got some pretty exciting things planned, some cool stuff that we're going to be doing with the channel. So that's well worth a follow. And I'll just pop our wee link to the right Twitter page here and down in the subscription box.
I love that, last week I sat here and watched you try to edit the stream together and the absolute shade you were throwing off at the amount of buttons and things.
So text is fine. Text is all good. What's hard is the boxes.
The annotation ones, aren't
They're
they?
really hard.
I thought that'd be super easy.
No? Not easy for me.
No.
I don't know how to do it.
I'm just cracking up because it's been like 4 minutes and you've already put in like 8 different buttons.
We always have a lot of text during catch-up time.
Okay,
text
cool.
is easy. Text is no worries.
So back on
please don't say click the screen to subscribe because I don't want
So just click here to subscribe.
No.
Oh, what?
No.
Just on Jordan's face here. No?
Yeah.
No.
That was the problem last week.
No.
Below the video.
Yeah.
Something I think
it's all down.
Amy's face for our Twitter.
It's all down in the box below. Not here on the screen. Cool. So we'd really appreciate a subscribe and a follow if you have some to spare.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start putting out more and more content. We're going to start doing some, YouTube videos around special events and games that we're going to be playing. We're going to start to do some streaming stuff and put that on, YouTube or Twitch, depending on where people want to see it. And obviously there's a bit of competition now, so that might be discussed later in the episode. What else are we thinking about doing, guys? What else are we going to start doing?
A few reviews and gameplay vids.
That's not
Challenge vids. We're all going to verse each other.
competitions, yeah.
Tournament thing.
With penalties for the loser.
Yeah.
Which will also be streamed or videoed for the web.
Yeah, so please be excited for that.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, cool.
That was a big voice.
That was good.
Has anyone got anything else for catching up?
YouTube gaming.
No,
YouTube gaming.
We're going to do
later. We're going to
foreshadowing.
Right.
Foreshadowing later.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, we're also going to start working on some intros so that the segments make more sense.
Yes.
And sort of rounding off intros and going into different segments.
Yeah.
Because we're really bad at that at the moment.
Yeah, there's going to be just a real abruptive cut right now.
Alright, so this week we're going to be talking about Fresh Out the Fryer, which is, as you know, our segment that's all about new, crisp and tasty games. So there's a couple of betas this week that have been out and that we've been playing. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, brand new upcoming games, exciting games, big games.
Yes.
You played Call of Duty.
I did. I thought you were
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I didn't play much. This is kind of a review by panel because I have a few friends who played and I played a little bit, so I thought I'd just give some of the first impressions that I've heard about it. I really liked it. I should preface by saying I'm not a huge Call of Duty player. No one would have guessed that, I'm sure.
Have you played many of the others?
Yeah, so I played Black Ops 2, a little bit of it, and I played Advanced Warfare, obviously. But I wouldn't call myself just some, like when I feel like it. Also a bit of Ghosts, actually. That wasn't that good, didn't like it.
So you played pretty much all.
Every iteration.
I feel like it's a game that thing though, where it's like a sampling. So it's
Right.
like
So you never said
So you haven't seen
I have not put millions of hours into these games.
Do you play through the stories?
Any
No, so
campaigns?
this is the
Yeah.
other thing. I do not enjoy Call of Duty's campaign.
Right, so it's just multiplayer.
She wants to kill real people.
I just want to
Wow.
like mess around and shoot some people. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's
That's all I want.
the best way to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I want from Call of Duty. So, I really liked this one. We were talking about this before, and I would definitely say there's a whole lot of parallels that can be drawn to Titanfall for sure. You know, you've got the wall running going on, and you've got this kind of like boosted jump scenario, and lots of things that really remind me of that Titanfall type gameplay, which is pretty cool. And as a couple of my friends have been saying, the engine is really nice. Like, you know, if the gameplay looks awesome, it's definitely a next-gen Call of Duty game. It looks really great, plays really nicely. I don't know if there's much.
Is it a next-gen Call of Duty game? Is it only available on Xbox
Oh,
One
that's a
and
good
PS4?
question, actually. Don't know. This beta that I've been playing this weekend was only Xbox One.
You'd really hope so by now, like this deep into like the current generation, that they'd stop holding the games back by also.
But
having
this is
developed
Activision. This is
I was
like,
going to
And
say
it's Call of
mass
Duty,
market.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
want to hit everyone.
they make their money on selling
don't
millions of units, so it makes
Yeah.
sense that it would be on both.
Yeah.
But I didn't play the beta this weekend, but I have. We watched the demo at E3, and it looks great.
Yeah, it does look great.
Yeah, I love that Titanfall style gameplay, that fast moving, wall running.
And it does feel much more like intuitive. Like, some of the stuff that they threw into these previous Call of Duty versions has been really like futuristic and out there, and not something that you kind of you got less immersed in the game because of the strange shit that was happening. And although you can like run along walls and slightly boost jump in this, it feels more
It's sci-fi.
real, but kind of more realistically.
I mean, the last one they brought out, Modern Warfare, what was it? What's the last one they did? Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a realistic take on sci-fi.
Right.
And I don't know if there's an actual market for a realistic sci-fi.
Yeah.
So I feel like, but once you start,
That did well, didn't it?
Yeah. Apparently the story was good and things.
Yeah,
I don't know if it sold as well as other games. I mean,
Everybody hated the exosuit.
Yeah, I
apparently.
don't know that lots of people.
I like it.
I didn't. People I know didn't enjoy it
Oh yeah.
that much. I thought it was.
yeah.
Meh.
I
It's quite hard
played
to get
I
excited
played
about.
the crap out of the first Black Ops. I loved that.
I'd never played.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I hadn't played one since. I got Modern Warfare 3 and I was kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
What I saw at E3 with Black Ops 3, made me want to buy that game.
Yeah.
And I think they've
Will
taken.
you buy this game?
Yeah, I think I will.
Oh.
And part of that is because I love the fact that they've gone with a co-op story mode.
Oh,
In fact,
yeah, I
it's
didn't know
like
that.
it's like
That's
one.
cool.
Not
I think
many
it's
of
1
those
to
left.
4 people.
Yeah.
1 to
That's
4
cool.
players, and you play through the story mode as like a team.
I can
and
imagine doing that.
it's not on rails either. Like
Yeah.
a lot of what the Call of Duty story has been before has been
Big time,
follow
yeah,
the target.
yeah.
Do this. It looks like you're thrown into what is a relatively open map, like a war zone, and you've just got to fight that war and then move on.
Is it a different story from the main story though, or is it the same story?
I've no idea what the actual plot is.
There's a lot of games recently that are just like, here's the main story, you can play through it single player, it's cool, but then they make this co-op campaign. It's like,
That's a little bit fuzzy. Someone out there might know a bit more about that than me. To me, it came across when they demoed it like the main story was co-op. I might be wrong, but I think that like that's why I was excited. Yeah. If that's not the case, then it's a bit of a letdown. Yeah. I'm sure someone will know.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, I've been watching some of T. Martin's videos, and apparently the competitive side for Black Ops 3 is a lot better from Advanced Warfighter for things, especially things like pistols. Because apparently all the pistols in Advanced Warfare, or some of the other ones, were just really underpowered, and now it's viable to swap out if you've wasted your clip on your main weapon, you can swap out to the pistol. It's actually really good.
I was actually going to say, I saw a really big increase in pistol usage, I feel, during my beta time. I don't know, I've never seen that many pistols being used in Call of Duty before.
Yeah.
Now, just to clear something up.
Also, they changed the meleeing, which is really weird.
Oh, really? What do they do?
It's really strange. So, like, it used to be like, if you hit someone with your knife, they would die.
Yeah.
Like, if you were in the general vicinity of them, like, knife them, they would die. It's now like you hit them with the back of your gun. And you have to aim that stuff.
Yeah.
That's always been people are quite dark about that in Call of Duty. The fact that you can put 3 or 4 bullets into someone and they just slice through the knife and there's death.
Nothing more satisfying in like Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty of just knifing someone. It's so good. You're up close and personal, you're taking them out. That's so
good example of a game mechanic.
Yeah.
Not based on
so that's gone.
The fact that it annoys people just makes me enjoy it that much more.
Right. I don't like the idea of hitting someone with my gun and they're suddenly dead. I don't see that as a...
it's just some
damage. That's the same way Halo does.
Okay, that's good.
It's like, boom,
that didn't make sense to me, especially like all the overshields and stuff. You're hitting a grunt. Oh, they fell over. Sure. Okay.
I'm just going to pull things back a minute. Did you just say you watched a video from T. Martin?
Yeah.
That's not you.
Your name?
It's not me. No. I am Theo Martin. It's weird. We found this guy, T. Martin, who's just he's a COD YouTuber, and he does, I think, a bunch of other channels as well. And he's really cool to listen to. He recently just moved, and he's doing all these new Call of Duty vids and things for Black Ops 3. It's really, really entertaining to watch and really informative as well, rather than just watching someone go through gameplay or talk about the guns or something.
And it's not you.
Yeah, it's not me. It's not me.
Is it you in disguise?
He's got it on the camera. It's just makeup.
You've just been watching your own videos.
Bit of gel. I learned something from me today.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on.
And the other, the big beta that came out this weekend that's still on currently, is the Street Fighter 5 beta.
Yeah.
This is the kind of the makeup beta from when they tried to do it and it failed miserably.
We talked about that recently as well.
Yeah, that's right.
About how it got pulled.
To get on.
Yeah.
So it must have been about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
About a month ago, they had the beta. They released it and no one could get onto the server and they pulled it down again. Now they've gone back up. It seems like everyone can play. I had no problem jumping in and getting into they put you in training mode first, where it's just like you versus computer that does nothing, and then at random times they'll just match you online with another player. It's definitely
so you don't have control over who you're playing.
No.
Alright.
No, it's definitely a server test. There's no features in the game. There's no two player. There's no there's no tutorial. There's nothing like that. So it's testing the servers, and it's really only for people that have played Street Fighter in the past, because jumping in there and not having played Street Fighter before, you're going to go online with the hardcore people, and you're not going to have much of a chance.
So it sounds like a proper beta. A lot of these other public betas that come out, it feels like it's more of a demo than a beta. This sounds like it is actually a beta.
It's definitely it's just a server load test. It's just to test the online code, and to see how that's all going, I guess, and they can make changes to that.
Can you pick characters, or do you just get
there's
given
6
a character?
characters.
Okay. That seems like a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a few.
Yeah, no, so 6 characters. No features other than play someone online.
It's really exciting though, where they set it up. It's like you're playing that training mode, and every now and then it's just like Challenger appear.
That's cool.
Watching it, we're going
So that's really cool for the people that are into Street Fighter and know how to play. But I just want to sit there in practice mode.
So you literally
the practice mode.
You can't stay in practice mode.
Right.
It's like
that would
they're like, we've invited you to our beta. You must play online. That's fair enough.
That's fair.
Yeah. So that's I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I liked it. I really like the art style.
All of them are waterbenders.
They are.
At the end of every thing.
Yeah,
it's just like
really,
this little
that's
thing.
interesting.
Like before they had the ink, I think Street Fighter 4
I remember the ink.
Water particles.
Okay, and then cool. How's the experience been?
It's been varied.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if it's because they just opened up like all the service worldwide, because I got matched with people in the States, people in New Zealand, and
how do you know where they're from? Is there a little flag?
Yeah, it has a little flag. Flags are really good for knowing where people are from. Inside jokes. And the experience varied very like significantly, and not even based on country. I think I played 2 people from New Zealand. One was really good, like no lag. The other one was unplayable. Which I was really dark about because they were a beginner also, and I thought I had a chance to win that one.
Yeah.
And
someone joined on with like dial-up or something.
Yeah, that's it. And it was like you'd be there and then teleport somewhere.
Can you still
like,
get dial-up?
Someone's surely doing dial-up, right? Somewhere.
Someone in the rural. Well, like you've got the Vodafone stick on the side of their PlayStation. It's like calling the mobile network. Yeah.
Argentina.
And then I played someone from the States, and that was lag free, and they kicked my ass. So, so yeah, I mean, apparently.
You still blamed lag, right?
I'd blame whatever.
Yeah.
But I think from what I've heard, the online code is good. Like they've based it on one of the, I think it was Third Strike. They've based, I might be wrong actually, but they've based it on a game that had a lot of success with their netcode in the past. Like netcodes are completely like different. I don't know anything about that. It's a big area of development hassle. So the fact that I did have some good experience with people from the States spoke really highly of it. But at the same time, it just depends on who you're playing and what their connection's like, I guess. And being in New Zealand, we're always at that disadvantage of our internet's a little bit shit.
Well, it's Australia's leftover internet, really.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that? So you're releasing a product, even because this is probably going to be what the final game's going to be like for Kiwis, where you've got a game that is going to be, the whole idea is to be playing it against another human, and it's going to be likely based on all of the other fighting games that have sort of come out over the last 5-10 years, that there is going to be lag. You're going to have some matches that are fine, some that aren't. Do you, like, for me, it's almost the equivalent of, like when the Wiimote came out, waggle controls versus button controls. When you push a button, it's going to work 100% of the time. When it's the waggle, it's going to work 95% of the time. And is that good enough? So it's kind of like, is it good enough to have a game where the experience only works 50-60% of the time?
I think it's a huge problem in New Zealand for games like this. Especially, I think the fighting game genre of the following in New Zealand is not where it should be compared to other countries. And I think that's because of the online situation. The people that are playing fighting games in New Zealand and enjoying them and playing them well are people that have actually set up communities to play locally. So they're doing events, they're going, maybe on like Friday nights, they're all meeting up and they're having that co-op experience, which is the way you should be playing fighting games, because it's very, it's a very fast-paced kind of reaction game. But I just don't think that there's anyone in New Zealand that could actually buy a copy of Street Fighter and play only online and really enjoy that and play competitively.
Right. And it's not going to be the hardcore players that do that anyway, right? Like you said, it's going to be the hardcore guys will be the ones that are actually getting together and having competitions.
Yeah, but I think but you need to train, right? So there's these guys in the States and they're like the hard out guys going to Evo and stuff. They'll be playing online, like 6 hours a day, and they rely on that connection to be really good so they can practice. They can't be in a group forever playing locally. So, anyone that wants to be in a competitive scene in New Zealand is going to be at that disadvantage where they can't just be online and have a completely lag-free experience the whole time.
It basically just means we're more awesome because we just
struggle through
it.
Come to think of it, were there any other stages apart from the New Zealand stage?
Yeah, the 3 stages.
There were. Oh, okay.
I played mostly on the New Zealand one. Just so
you can pick the stages?
No, you couldn't. So I was just lucky.
All right.
Just lands you there.
The New Zealand stage is amazing. Like, it's the best fighting game stage I've ever seen. Like, it's the whole art style. The whole art style in that game I love. Like, I just think it all looks really cool. So the New Zealand stage has like heaps of sheep in it. It's all in the background. It's very green. It's very like blue and fresh.
They dance. It's fantastic.
And when you win, there's like
dance.
everyone dances.
What the sheep dance?
They do. They sort of get up on their hind legs. They're like
on their hind legs.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
That's amazing.
So I noticed that when you finish the match and there's like an extra, the person's doing the animation. There's the what are those parrots called? I always forget their name.
Kias?
No, the ones that look like Takahis.
Oh, yeah. They're not parrots, but okay.
No,
I thought they were a type of parrot.
Takahis.
I thought they were a parrot.
I don't think
They look like a parrot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the takahis, they look really cool and they're kind of bobbing along like on the ground there. So New Zealand native
Why are
birds
they
for the win.
dancing?
We're a dancing nation. That's what we do.
Right.
All fighting
never
games have
think
really
we're
good soundtracks.
Just Dance New Zealand.
I've got the Tekken soundtrack in my car.
People are going to think Capcom's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Well, the character assigned to it, that's the crazy part, isn't it? Isn't he just...
I haven't seen the character. I haven't.
I want
I
to
haven't
see
seen the
that.
character either.
Yeah, so I don't know if they've come out and said he's a New Zealander, like, but
Yeah.
he's like kind of a tribal guy for Red
Right.
hair. He can kind of go Super Saiyan. He's
That's
I
what
mean,
we-
that's
that's what we
accurate.
do.
That's
It's
what we-
accurate.
Yeah.
That's actually highly accurate.
He wasn't in
He
the
stopped
beta.
at the dairy.
I don't think he
Oh,
was
he's not in the beta.
I don't think he was in the beta.
Okay.
There's a couple of characters that aren't in the beta that they have announced.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I would actually, you know, if I see that's the thing. Like, I would love to buy this game, but I'm not going to play online. So then, who the hell am I going to play it with?
Yeah.
If only there was an app that I could connect with the people in my area.
Hey.
Leaving Tiger download. Okay.
The Wellington scene, the Rambat scene, actually, for Stand Fierce is growing massively, so...
That's cool. Get in touch with those guys.
Yeah.
They need to train me up for a couple of weeks.
Hell yeah.
I
Personal trainer.
work with a guy who does competitive Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah.
So I wonder if we could even
He's the
possibly.
standing fierce guy from Wellington.
Dave?
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
John Scully.
He's
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
ex Wellington.
Right, yeah. So we might even be able to see if I can talk him into
Doing a coaching round.
doing a coaching round. See if we
Yeah.
can get him in
You
here
worked in,
to
exactly.
show us how to play these games.
That'd
Yeah, that'd be
great.
cool.
Because I think we're all
No
pretty
pressure.
bad at them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Terrible. The worst.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool.
So my fresh out of the fryer this week.
yeah.
Mine's going to start with a question. Actually, how many of you guys have actually played the original Pacman?
I
Yeah.
believe I have.
Yeah, you've all played.
Yeah.
I was actually
Or like
expecting
a
like
version
one or
of
two
it.
of you to go. No.
Well, like a version of it.
Yeah,
Right,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like, what was the
Yeah.
original
It's hard to
version
say.
of?
Like either the arcade kind of.
oh yeah, I've played it at an
Either
arcade.
the tabletop
Yeah.
one or the... Yeah, okay, cool. So the guys behind Crossy Road, I think Hipster Whale, they released Pacman 256 last week, I think it is.
Nice.
And I am not a fan of mobile gaming at all. Everyone, if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen me get
How's your
very
Hachi?
salty about that. It's gone.
Oh no!
I didn't die.
He's dying.
I put him
They're dying
down.
everywhere.
All right, I didn't. He didn't die.
You
I
put
got
him
rid
down.
of him.
Suddenly you do that.
So the Pacman 256, I went in pretty apprehensively because I like Crossy Road, but again, it was that very mobile phone feeling where it's made for 30 seconds while you're waiting for something to heat up in the microwave.
Yeah.
Or there's a little bit of downtime. You just quickly waste it on
Waiting
your
for the
phone,
bus.
and then there's like just options to spend real money throughout the entire experience. Now, so I went into the Pacman 256 thinking, how did they get Namco Bandai like on board to actually give up their
But
license
obviously
for that
just
kind of
finished
thing?
making Tamagotchis. So needed to do
Yeah.
something else.
But-
Great game.
And how's it going on
Yeah,
you?
it's still
It's
good.
gone
Still good.
as well. Yeah, but they've done a really amazing job of like nailing the retro feel of Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Cool.
it feels exactly like what you would expect the original Pac-Man to feel like if it just the one level never ended and you just sort of it scrolled upwards. Like they've nailed it. You've got the ghosts that chase you in different patterns depending on what color they are.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the power pellets which turn the tides and you can go around eating the ghosts. But the difference is that the infamous level 256 glitch, that sort of kill screen from the original arcade, is chasing you from the bottom upwards. And if you lag behind and get taken over by that, it's game over.
Yeah.
But and they've got sort of two modes. They've got a completely free to play mode, so you don't have to wait for credits or anything to play. You don't have to buy credits. You can just play it, which is exactly that. So there's no. It's basically just that game scrolling up go as long as you can.
Yeah.
If you die, you can spend a credit to basically start where you died and carry on, and you grow your score even higher.
Yeah.
Sort of like a second life. But the one that you've kind of got to either wait for or pay for is it adds like unlockable abilities like power-ups, like lasers and stuff like that. And so you could
Exactly like classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you're
got
try-
Tommy guns.
and it's almost the mode that makes it then feel like, oh, that's right, I'm playing a mobile game.
Yeah.
Right.
Where as you play, you collect the little Crossy Road coins that are like dotted along, and you can use those to power up your power-ups, like upgrade them. And you can basically, if you die, like I said, you can use a credit to carry on one more time, but you've got 6 credits. And once those run out, I think you accrue a new credit every 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. Or you can buy a handful for $1.29, or you can unlock unlimited ones for $10.
Or you can
and
give
then,
them your
then you're
firstborn
good.
child and win.
Yeah. And so
Unlimited for $10.
unlimited.
That's
so
not a good business decision.
Well, I actually think they're going to get a lot of people that play it
That
for a
want
little
the
bit.
$10.
That just go, oh, I'll spend $10
But
right
it cuts
now.
off your whole whale market. They could have been spending thousands.
But I haven't finished.
Right.
So,
But wait.
so they've got other ways to monetize it. So, like I said, you've got little coins that you can pick up and you can use to upgrade your weaponry.
Oh my god, can you buy outfits for the Pacman?
Not yet, but that's I'll get to that. I'll get to that.
Pacman skins.
So with the coins, you can upgrade your weaponry, but you can also buy coins so you can upgrade your weapons faster. But like I said, my favorite mode is without the bonus sort of weaponry. It feels way more retro. It feels way more true to the original, and far way less than a mobile game. So it's definitely awesome. The one thing I was kind of hoping for, which is what you picked up, is I would love to see them having like the World Championship 2 Pacman that released on consoles, I think, and PC now. Has like a bunch of different themes that sort of go across all the different styles of Pac-Man that have been around, and I'd love to see them include that, and they could monetize the shit out of that as well.
Definitely,
Yeah, but definitely worth time.
Worth checking out.
Yeah, the other kind of new addition is it's free at nothing. You don't have to pay for it, and if you play just the standard free mode, it's like I said, I think it's the best mode of the two anyway. It's kind of got an additional thing where if you collect 256 pellets in a row, it lets off a massive explosion that kills every single ghost on the board, and then they sort of start reappearing. So it forces you to make really shitty decisions the entire way. You're like, I'm at 181 pellets, and if I go this way, I'm going to be able to continue it, but I might die. Or I can go this way, and there's a gap in pellets, and it's going to restart my combo.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Combo
I like
together.
that. That's cool.
So the whole board isn't just filled with pellets. You've got gaps where you kind of
Sounds good.
So it's great. If you haven't played it, definitely jump on it. And help, because I think it's 2 people in Australia, other hipster whale guys.
Nice.
So help our guys over the ditch.
Yeah, spend $10, get on
We'll throw a link down below.
Yeah.
Cool. That's probably all of our fresh and toasty guys.
I've got Hotline Miami. I'm sorry, I haven't got my things on her note.
Right. Throwing us off.
So I played something called I keep wanting to say Hotline Miami, but it's not. It's Half Line. It's the other coin of either names of them. Half-Line Miami. It's a fan-made version of an amalgamation of Hotline Miami and Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's free downloads. We'll put the IMDb link or whatever it is. It's not IMDb. It's mod database, MDB or something like that.
Right, it won't be
Info mod database. And yeah, so completely free game, amalgamation of Hotline Miami and Half-Life 2, and it's fantastic. It's real quick to play. It only takes about, 10 minutes. If you're having trouble, maybe an hour, like sort of in between that ballpark. It's so much fun.
Yeah, you should stream.
Yeah, oh no, I did stream it. And I've got a video going up on YouTube soon about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll link it below.
Should I throw that on Hot Chips? No.
Well,
you guys can see if the content passes. No.
What you do on the streams.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's an isometric game. It's top-down view. If you played some of the original GTAs, you know what I'm talking about. But it's got the mouse control for the firing mechanism. You can move your crosshair over enemies, and you know you're going to hit them. But this version is interesting. Hotline Miami uses guns, and you get different guns and you shoot at people. But this one, you've only got a grav gun. You can only use the grav gun. You can pick up various objects and chuck them. And it nails the sound, and it probably uses all the sound files from Half-Life 2. And it nails the story, and it nails all the little quick segments and the enemy types and things. It's
Is it all built using Half-Life? Have they just sort of manipulated the camera and stuff, or is it completely new? Like they've built it from the ground up themselves?
I don't actually know. I don't know if they used the Hotline Miami code or if they completely rebuilt it with the Hotline Miami style in mind, which I think that's what they did. Otherwise, you'd think that there were a lot of issues with that. But maybe Hotline Miami has a whole bunch of mod-friendly things, because a lot of games these days are like mod-friendly stuff. You can build stuff on this engine that we created, do some fun stuff. But that's the thing, it's a free downloadable game, so how does that sort of play into it? But it's a crap ton of fun, and the 2 games are working together are just perfect, and it's so fun to play. Check it out. Check it out again. I believe it's free.
And I guess that's what's fresh out the fryer this week.
Yeah.
Crisp and tasty. It's salty.
That's a good jingle.
Let's get salty.
Get salty.
Right. That's never happened again.
That was like a one-off.
That was definitely a one-off. This week, we're getting salty, as always, where we get a little bit angry, maybe a little bit passionate about something that's happening in the gaming industry.
And this one hits a little close to home.
It does.
So I've been animating for quite some time now, and the one thing that's always bothered me, just in general, is people's apathetic look towards animation in video games. Now,
Right.
I think, and again, it might just be. I might just be a little too close to this.
I'm very interested in this, and I'd like to. I need to learn a little bit about what we're going to talk about first. I guess what is the animation in question here?
So anything from the way cameras move in video games through to the way that characters move and the attention to detail that they get. A lot of it comes down to the technical limitations. So you've got things in. Like you have games like Uncharted and Assassin's Creed where they've got massive teams working on, and the animation itself looks great, but you still might notice little sort of twitches between when one animation ends and the next starts.
Falling next to a door.
Because you mentioned this when you were going through
the order.
The order, where things didn't quite
Match up.
line
And
up.
with the order, it's because it looks so amazing that those kind of small little things really stand
the
out.
kind of continuity here
Hugely
is,
stand out. But I got asked the other day what was an example of a game with a bad animation, and my answer was name a game. Like, effectively, most video games at the moment have bad animation. It's because it's almost looked at as the last part. Like with video, even with this podcast, Amy mentioned the sound is not as important to her as it might be to us.
Right.
And it's the same way where you've got the code working great in a game, you've got the visuals looking amazing, textures, particles, all this kind of thing. You've got the animation is kind of just there. If it's moving, that's good. And so with you don't mind a little bit of I don't know, background noise, but to someone else it'll annoy them. You know, so hopefully we've got rid of the background noise this time.
Somebody just kicked the table.
That was me. That was great.
But look how greatly we're animated.
Point proven.
Wow.
We're animated lovely.
And I think I've become extremely salty with
I was going to say, you're way saltier than I am.
I've become way more salty thanks to Telltale games.
Right. But
Telltale games.
Because I love Telltale's, like, the stories they're using, the IPs they're getting. I'm not a big fan of Borderlands, but the Tales from the Borderlands game, I'm loving them.
Yeah.
But all sort of immersion is gone the moment one of those characters moves.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't like it?
I love the game, but the
really?
animation
I've always-
the Telltale animation, some of the worst animation currently.
I always thought that it came down to the engine, and the engine was no good.
I think it's come down to two things, which is they try and spit out games really quickly.
Yeah.
So they get the voiceovers and stuff like that. They obviously get that, and they're trying to match them up with the facial animations and try and match that up with good physical movement. So I think they've just got really tight schedules for that kind of stuff, which it lends itself to having bad animation anyway if you're trying to rush it. The second being tech.
Yeah.
I've seen moments of amazing animation in the Wolf Among Us, I think it was. Oh, yeah. They had some moments that just looked fantastic, but they were always the sort of the canned pre-rendered, not pre-rendered, just the stuff that wasn't really tied to the script that was going on. Something that was kind of just like a one-off moment where something happened, and when the animation ended, the camera cut and it went to a different scene, that kind of thing. But so often in the Walking Dead games and in Wolf Among Us, Tales from the Borderlands, it's just this, I don't know if it's tech, I don't know. I feel like they have a couple of guys that are dedicated to the really intimate moments with the characters, and then they just like get the rest of the animation out, and they have this technical sort of animation system that's running it all. It just isn't up to the same speed.
I just suddenly feel like your standards are so much higher than
for animation, and I'm sure, like, because you do design, I think you'd find the same with
I
design
judge a
stuff.
game's UI very, very. In fact, we could get salty about that one time.
There we go.
I judge it so harshly.
And you often judge companies by their slides.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And I think it's, and I was talking to someone about this recently, and I was saying that I think most people are happy with this.
Yes.
No matter what you're talking about, whether it's graphics, audio, animation, slides, UI, people are happy with this, but people who are in that field,
industry,
we're looking for
yeah,
this.
Yeah,
I'm not sure people were happy with those Telltale games. I remember when it was the original The Walking Dead, which is their first like massive hit. It was nominated for Game of the Year. And I think Spike TV's awards, those big Game of the Year awards they have. And a lot of people were really upset about that because the game was no good. Like, the game, like, the people enjoyed it, the story was great, you made decisions, it paid off. But the engine that game ran on and the tech behind it, like that game, the frame rate would go to like just drop below playable at some points.
Right.
And I remember people just saying, this game cannot be nominated for Game of the Year. It's just built not well enough to be in that category. Yeah. And it was revolutionary. The game, it did things that games weren't doing, and like for all those reasons, should have been there. But based on tech alone and the animation, I guess, like...
Terrible
what was it
animation.
Up against, do you remember? Because, it did have a lot of great...
It was up against Journey that year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What else was there?
Which, by the way, fantastic animation
game,
in Journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. Like, what makes a good game?
What does?
The whole animation side and talking about Telltale, I can't wait for the Minecraft story
so
mode.
Excited about
and
that.
it's because of the simplistic graphics that I think the bad animation is just going to be non-existent. I think it's going to be hidden in the low quality look that Minecraft has. No, but it's a style, right?
It's the South Park advantage.
Yeah, it's the South Park advantage. You can give it bad animation because it looks bad anyway, but that's the style they're going for. Yeah. Minecraft is going to hide all of the animation technical issues. Right. And I think it'll be one of their best ones.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, actually, is that you only really notice a game-breaking animation and get frustrated by it with games that rely on creating a realistic world to build and sort of draw you in, and in that stylistic way of being realistic. Because in Minecraft, or there are some games out there that stylistically are realistic, but you've got kind of like look at the Lego Movie, for example. It's not a game, but they still do the It's kind of like that's blocky. It's a blocky animation style, and that works. And that's great because it's much easier to do. It's much cheaper and it's much quicker. But when you look at games like Crisis or something,
you would actually be really surprised. Nailing stylistic animation can sometimes be way harder.
Oh, true. Like, I don't know anything about the field. I want to get that out of the way. I don't understand.
The Lego Movie is amazing.
It is
they use
absolutely
different
amazing.
pieces, like they'll have like the grass or those leaves that become like flames and stuff. Like,
and it's like,
that
so
movie is
cool.
amazing the way everything's made out of Lego.
Absolutely love the Lego Movie. And I want to get something out of the way. I do feel like animations can be completely game breaking, story breaking. They draw you out of the story completely and just ruin it. And Crisis was one of the ones that actually it hurt me quite a lot for. I loved Crisis 1. I played it, loved the story. It's really generic, but it's just done in a really nice stylistic way. It's interesting. But they were going for a very, very realistic kind of feel. And the amount of muscles and whatever they had to do in that, like I watched some of the animation videos, and just the amount they had to do just to get someone to smile was ridiculous. And I don't know if it was because of time frame or whatever, but sometimes when people were talking it was okay, but most times it was just like that's not how things move. Everything's like, even if your computer was great and it was running at 60 frames per second, people were like, what gestures are you making? People don't stand like that. Why are you going, it's just really frustrating. But I played, what was it called? Command & Conquer Renegade, if any of you know that game. Really old game, first-person shooter in the Command & Conquer series. Really, really cool. I played that game way back in the day, but after I'd played a few really good games, like I think I played a bit of Bioshock, I think I played a bit of Crisis. It was about 7 years ago, I think. Now? A little bit more. And I played Command & Conquer Renegade after that. And even though like the animation was just him going, that's it. It was just a mouth going like this. I got more immersed in that because if you've watched anime, you'll understand this. You don't always need something syncing up to being perfect and immersive to make it immersive. And
it's that consistency.
Yeah, and it's just like trying to be too immersive and trying to move too many muscles and be too realistic is complicating it too much to the point where you're always getting it wrong.
Well, maybe that's the problem. Like, there's just been such a gap now between the high levels animation stuff and all the other games that are out there. Like, you guys, the Naughty Dog guys are ruining it for everyone, basically.
Although there was a moment in Uncharted 1 and 2, I think they ended up using the same animations for some of the stuff. And there's a moment where, as Nathan Drake, when you're climbing up like stuff, his ankle is bent at an angle no angle could ever. And I'm just sitting there playing this game. I'm loving every moment of it. It's just amazing. It's blowing me away. And all I can see is this broken ankle as he's climbing up this thing. Like, no. So yeah.
It's fine.
But I mean, if you're like a studio that's not Naughty Dog and you're trying to make like an action RPG game, what options do you have? Like, you have to make it somewhat realistic, but you can't take it to the same levels. Like,
yeah, I mean, the problem is, like, you've got two different things when it comes to animations in games. You've got the actual animations themselves, and then you've got the animation tree or the system that puts all the animations together and triggers them. And I can understand the hardship of making sure that when someone is running this way and then stops and runs this way, that the flow between animations could be a bit janky, where they don't have the time to tidy that all up. What I can't handle is like loading up Splatoon, which looks amazing, and running around in the lobby just hitting the jump button, and the jump looks disgusting. If I think we've got Splatoon, like you guys load it up, go into the lobby and just jump around the lobby. It's horrific. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When everything looks so polished and everything else looks so good, you can see they didn't care about the animation. Other than when it's like front and center, when your squid guy, Squidling, is like plays his fail or success animation. Those look great. Yeah. But in the middle of the game, there's essentially no animation. You've got code driving where the gun's aiming, which is the whole upper body. Yeah. You've got legs just doing this. Sorry, for people who are listening, I'm just wiggling fingers around. And then for the jump, it is essentially, there's nothing. It just gets height. Yeah.
It's like kind of like Counter-Strike Source.
Running against a wall.
Yeah. So if they had put in an animation, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Right. Or if it was the animation system that was triggering the jump animation too late, or it didn't flow so nicely, that's fine. But when the animation itself, when they've just gone, let's just get someone who can do animation instead of be a pro at animation to do the animations.
And I think I got a good point.
I'm going to watch games from now on and be really disappointed.
It broke, like studying animation broke animated movies and video games for me.
Interesting. We've had enough of this conversation.
I
don't want to ruin the games anymore.
We love all games equally.
So, we were salty.
Yeah, that's pretty salty, actually.
It's helpful if I sit down, isn't it?
Do the jingle again.
No jingle.
No jingle. Just like a belch. Just a belch sound that just like echoes through.
Leftovers. I like it. Okay,
that needs to be wasn't it coming out of the fridge or something?
Yeah, something. We'll have an animation soon to tell you that it's time for our leftovers, which are basically games that aren't new but that we're catching up on. So this week, you have something to discuss.
Yes. Well, we're filming this on the Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday, there's something.
Oh, you just shattered the illusion.
Yeah.
For everyone that thought we were live.
Yeah. I mean, if you thought that,
you're talking to us.
Come on. When it's not live.
Yeah. And now
you're watching this at night time. You can clearly see it's day. That's ridiculous.
People also know now how long it takes you to edit it and get it out.
Yeah.
The time is ticking. But this Tuesday is the launch of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Big launch. Massive launch.
Which has been getting 10 out of 10 reviews from most outlets.
Not Amy.
Which is not unsurprising given that these are one of the most well-known games in all the video games. So I went back and I played Ground Zeroes, which was free on PlayStation Plus a couple of months ago. And I went through that. I played the story front to start to finish, which is only about an hour 20.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a short experience.
So basically, it's a tech demo almost for the game.
And people paid decent money for this.
It came out as a full retail release at 90 New Zealand dollars.
Yeah.
Or so.
Wow.
Just because no one can throw tomatoes at me through the screen, can I ask? Is there another element to the? Is there also got an online?
No, not online. But there is more to it than what Jordan played.
Okay. So we should. So this will be my experience of the game.
Yeah.
So I jump in. I am not a Metal Gear player in the past. I've tried. Yeah.
You've become one.
I know, and I've tried. It's not the first time I've tried. I bought the Metal Gear collection for the Vita, and I went back and tried to play those games. But I feel like without that nostalgia for those games, jumping back into HD remakes, it's very hard to get your head around. The controls aren't up to scratch with where you think they should be.
Yeah.
So while it might look like a new game on the Vita, walking around that ship with my D-pad and not being able to get the gun to go where I wanted it to go was really frustrating at the time. I mean, it's something that I really want to get to. I'm going to buy Metal Gear Solid 5. Definitely.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Because jumping into this game, I think it's a really good place to actually pick up the story.
Yeah.
For anyone that wants to know, a quick 30 seconds of the story. Basically, your old who was Snake
boss?
And now is boss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
so he was Snake and now he was Naked Snake and now he's Big Boss. So
He was Naked Snake.
yeah, the names make no sense, but he's the guy off the eye patch.
Sexy.
And so he's a gun for hire, and he started up his own little mercenary group that go around trying to save the day, basically from another spy organisation there.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happens.
Which is backwards Fox by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Backwards Fox.
And from my understanding, because I was trying to pick up on the story, like if you want to pick up on the story, you get Ground Zeroes, you read, they give you like maybe 10 pages of backstory to read through, so you can actually kind of learn where it's at.
Like on screen.
Yeah, so it's like a turning the page
You don't
thing.
have to print it out or anything.
I was like, is it in the case?
So you read through all that and you jump in, and basically it's one mission, and the mission is you go to this base, you have to infiltrate it, and you rescue 2 of your team that have been captured, basically.
Princesses in the castle.
Yeah. So that's basically it.
It's exactly like
It's
Mario.
like Mario.
So you rock in, and it's one of the best looking games I've seen. Like, it's just, I was playing it here, and like one of my friends came over that's not much of a gamer and just sees me playing it. It's raining, and like
it looks amazing.
It's glistening off like my suit and things. And he's like, "Wow, like this just looks absolutely like better than any animated movie that's been out there." Like, I watched Beowulf last night.
Yes, that's not as good as when you first watched it. First watched it, you were like,
shame.
wow.
Speaking of bad animation before,
Yeah.
so yeah, it looks fantastic and it plays fantastic. But the game itself, Ground Zeroes, is relatively boring. I'm not going to lie. It's the story is literally you go in and you have to extract the 2 people.
You didn't like that you can... Did you only do that once?
I only did that once. And and there was no incentive for me to... I didn't feel like I should go back. I knew you could go back and there was a lot more to do. Because when you finish, it's like you've done 7%.
Yeah. That's huge. There's easily maybe 20 hours worth of content in there.
But what is it? Like, because there was nothing to say you should go back and play it.
Once you go back into that main menu, you should have seen when you first opened it up, there was like your mission that you selected, and then there was just some blanked out ones.
Yeah.
When you go back, the next one's unlocked. And it's a same map, but there's different objectives. You start at a different spot, there's different objectives to go and achieve, and then once you've done that, the next one unlocks. And so there's so you've got maybe 6 or 7 missions all in the same area. And they can all be done in different ways as well. So you can do the one thing 5 different ways. So the idea is it's meant to be a sandbox to show you what is going to be what you'll be able to do in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
While also trying to make money from people
from a tech demo,
who love Metal Gear
basically,
Solid. Yeah.
Does your boss just keep calling out? You're like, you missed this. You gotta go back.
No.
You're like, really? I killed everyone there.
They act like they've got amnesia. It's a brand new thing. They've never. It's like they're going into a new piece of like military base. No, it's great. It's really good.
Is it
really
story driven though? Are those other? Because I'm a very story driven player. Like I'm not a completionist. I want to get from A to B and learn the story and know how it pays off.
I heard that they are missions that are going to be in the main game, but they've set them in the same military base.
So basically, I've missed out on nothing if I'm going to play Metal Gear Solid 5.
I believe someone might be able to correct me, but I think that's right.
The end arises.
So I played 1 hour 20, and I pretty much finished that game.
But you got it on PS Plus.
No,
it was a free game for me, but
I would love.
I
would love for you to go back and just try the next mission.
Well, that's it. No, I don't need to. I don't need to go
give it a
back
go.
because on Tuesday I've got Metal Gear Solid 5, and why would I go back and play a game that's not all there when?
But it's not Tuesday yet.
It's not Tuesday yet, but it is soon.
2 days.
And I've heard from a lot of people, Metal Gear fans as well, that this is everything they've ever wanted in a Metal Gear game, in a game in general, and all the things that were wrong with Ground Zeroes, they're out and they don't have anything bad to say about this game.
Wow.
I'm sure we'll do a review of it on the next episode.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch you play that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna crank for that. Are you gonna play as well?
Yeah, well, see, Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes was pretty much my first experience with Metal Gear Solid. I think I'm pretty sure I've got a hazy memory of hiring out the original with the PS1.
Yeah.
But I don't think I beat it, and I think it was just one of those games that was just new and too weird for what I was used to for gaming back then.
Yeah.
And so I tried out Ground Zeroes, and that got me. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I played through all of the different missions. I don't think I did them all multiple times, but I played through all the missions. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll go check out one of the other ones, and I downloaded Snake Eater on the 3DS. And it's the older style gameplay is way harder than Ground Zeroes, and I found myself not hating it, but I just didn't get the gameplay of Snake Eater.
I couldn't get into the other ones either.
It's it's very stealth.
Yeah.
I sort of on the ground checking, okay, I can't really see anyone, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk one step, and it's like, bring.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck, all right, and someone's going to hunt me down now. And all I could do from that point is run and get shot as I'm trying to crouch slide around on the ground. And yeah.
I would not be buying Metal Gear Solid 5 on Tuesday if I thought the whole game had to be stealth. I love having the stealth elements, but I'm just not good enough.
Yeah.
I just suck at being stealth. Even in Ground Zeroes, I'd ping off a dart and it would hit a pole. And then you run at a speed the alarms are off, and then I'm like, oh hell, but you can actually just shoot everyone down and run away. So that's fine.
But that's what I was trying to play Snake Eater as a stealth game, where I'm trying to not use my bullets, and I'm trying to actually just go slowly and sort of piece by piece through it. And I got through a big chunk, but what really put me off, and this is kind of a big complaint that number 4 had, was it's I think when I first turned it on, I was sitting there for maybe 2 hours playing this game, and around the hour and a half mark, I'm like, hey, I get to start playing. Right. It was just cutscenes, just cutscenes and cutscenes and cutscenes. It's an hour and I've just watched a movie length worth of cutscenes, and now I can start playing.
Yeah. And that's interesting because I haven't heard anything to that same kind of regard.
Supposedly they've removed a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah,
it's a lot more gameplay.
Because Metal Gear Solid 4 was 20 hours of cutscenes.
Yeah,
in between 20 hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
I like a good cutscene.
Yeah, for sure.
It, but I haven't heard anyone say anything about extra long cutscenes for this one.
Would you be better with it if the cutscenes were you in game talking to that person and still being able to move around? Do you think that would be
I hate that.
You don't like that?
It depends. It depends how it's done.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I really don't like in the order when it was you're in a cutscene but you have to walk to the next guy. Just walk to the next guy.
Yeah.
And that's what the evening of Ground Zeroes. He rolls out of the helicopter and he's taking on the base and he's shooting it up and stuff. And it looks really cool. They've done an amazing job. The camera's behind him. It's you're watching a movie. And that could have been gameplay.
I thought the exact same thing.
Been gameplay.
It was this amazing moment where he's just nailing everybody. I'm like, why aren't I playing this?
But I kind of like that. I like the...
I was furious.
Oh, really? See,
yeah.
I was into it because I like the fact that, he's a badass and I play him sometimes, but I can also just sit back and watch him just taking
But you just spent an hour and a half doing stealth stuff. Yeah. And then when the action kicks in, they're like, we've got it. Don't you worry. We'll look after this for you, okay?
Nailing headshots across the face and stuff. Forward rolls, explosions.
At least give me a quick time where I have to hold the trigger while he's doing it. Give me something.
I don't want quick time. I just want to sit back and I want to watch him kicking ass sometimes. I'm fine with that. I think that's why I'm going to really like this game.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah. But it's funny that you've picked this up over the last week because back in 2007, I think it was, I managed to get my hands on Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for GameCube, and I tried to give that a go at the time. And again, I put it in, which is, I'm not sure if you know, it's a remake of the first one using Metal Gear Solid 2 style graphics. So it's kind of a mixture between the two.
Right.
And it got to a point where I tried it, and it was the opening scene is you've just got to be stealthy. Just be stealthy and you can get through. And I failed it the first screen that you have to get through. I think I died a dozen times. Just put the disc away, never went. And that was it. I was just what is this? And so I finally got back to that a couple of nights ago, but because of the beauty of technology, I've still got the game. I've got it emulated on the Dolphin, which is the GameCube PC emulator. So I've got it running at 1080p with an Xbox controller in my hands, and I'm finally actually progressing through it. It took me about 2 hours to just get used to the old style stealth games. So I'm wondering if that's going to help me go back to Snake Eater and then maybe push through Metal Gear Solid 5.
Have you played Peace Walker?
No.
Apparently Peace Walker is really good.
Right.
And it's the most like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Right, okay.
And I think that's a direct sequel as well. Like, 'cause I think is there a few snakes? I don't know how many
The
snakes.
chronology's all over the
I don't know
place,
how it
though,
works,
right?
though.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this one is like Metal Gear Solid 5 follows on from Big Boss was killed. She was the woman, right? Boss was killed, and Snake was in love with her. Now she came back in Peace Walker as an AI that they actually put in the Peace Walker. And he had a kind of a big emotional moment where she ended up drowning herself as the Peace Walker, and that was kind of the end of the game. Like she sacrificed herself, and it gave him.
Yeah,
Well, spoilers for Peace Walker. Yeah,
I think you've given me a spoiler for Snake Eater as well, by the sounds of things. But that's,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she must die in Snake Eater because she's in.
I won't tell you how she dies is important. So
Did she
I
get
won't
eaten by
ruin
the
it.
snake?
Flashing.
Okay.
Do the flashing
She
spoiler
just
sign
said-
before he says it.
Yeah, she the snake.
Yeah, so that leads kind of Snake to start up this own kind of mercenary camp that he's done. And he's kind of forging his own path. So I don't know how that's going to come into play with this game.
Right.
But that's like Snake's story.
Yeah.
The Snake. I think there's a different Snake. Is that right?
There's Liquid Snake,
Yeah.
Solid Snake, Snaky Snake.
Yeah.
And they all look the same.
Snakes.
They do. I don't understand. I don't know if they're clones or brothers or the same
there's
person with
some-
different
Same as
titles.
freaking-
There's something going on there.
Oh
Are
yeah,
they-
trust me, the game's confusing.
Are they gonna is there gonna be a big intro that gives new people to the series an idea of what's going on?
Unsure.
Because I can just imagine someone's gonna be like, "This game looks amazing. Yeah, it's the fifth one, but I
Do
can
you
usually
think?
just
Because I've
buy."
never played one and I have no desire to play this one.
I think
there'll be a few people that will just see walk into JB Hi-Fi or something,
Just be
and,
like,
and
"Oh,
they'll
I
have
need
that
to shoot
video playing on the screen. They'll be like, "That looks
That's
amazing
beautiful,
graphically,"
yeah. For the gameplay,
and
I
I'm
think
sold.
so.
I'm going to pick it up, and they're just going to pick it up and be like, "Well, what is
I
I
happening?"
feel like
Stats
they would.
on
I think
people.
like there's been enough now, like because they've started fresh, like Underground. Spoilers for Ground Zeroes. Maybe you can stop watching now or fast forward 5 minutes. In Underground Zeroes, it pretty much wipes the slate clean, so you can start from scratch.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you basically you go in and you're solo, and you have to kind of rebuild things from the ground up. So I think you can jump into Metal Gear Solid 5 without really knowing the backstory.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because the people who do the story for that are always really convoluted.
And the other thing is, this is going to be the last.
It'll be the last one, right?
Yeah.
With Kojima now
He's gone.
out of Konami.
Yeah,
That'll be it.
Yeah, he
Like-
just wanted to work on this one.
I could see Konami, taking the Metal Gear franchise and milking it for cash.
Yeah.
But this will be the last great, Kojima game for Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Solid kart racing, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mobile.
Yeah.
For mobile.
Well,
Yeah.
he's in Smash Bros.
With
He's in Smash
microtransactions.
Bros.
Which one was he? Was in Brawl or Melee?
I think Brawl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
That was the leftovers.
No,
wasn't
we've
it?
got to rate. Last time we rated the leftovers
Oh,
based on, so the people
yeah.
who hadn't played the things had to rate the leftovers that were talked about.
Oh, you
so,
did.
So, Amy, is
1 out of 10.
Why?
What do
We
you-
sold it better than that.
Ouch!
I just have I feel nothing.
nothing.
Like, nothing.
She's dead
I don't-
inside.
When I told you about the beauty of how it looks.
There's lots of games
The
that look-
glistening water on the soup
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the
too.
ground.
Must have turned you on.
I don't know. I just don't like
An action
I don't
scene you
get
don't
what kind of-
control.
like it's just an action. Yeah, I don't like. Nah.
Yeah.
Naked Snake?
Why?
Snake.
Why is he naked? What?
He wasn't actually naked.
No.
Oh,
it's
you
just
just trying
a
to
But
sell
this
it.
is what his name was.
Yeah.
Right. I just.
The one reason you'd buy the game.
Yeah.
It's real hard for me because I don't connect with the Metal Gear franchise well enough because I'm not great at stealth games. I'm not really into them. But based on the gameplay and the beauty of the game, I'd go for something like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Just based on that alone, and I'd really like to get into the story, but I know for a fact that I can't because I've tried before and it just wouldn't work. So yeah, I'm thinking. 7.
If you had to liken it to a piece of leftovers, that's what we did last time, wasn't it?
No,
You had
did
to-
we?
yeah.
Yeah.
Did we? Well, you don't remember
Yeah,
our
I
amazing
That's good puns about
discussion
leftovers.
about how could
Wasn't it
toast be
sloppy
leftovers.
burger? That's-
How
yeah.
could toast be leftovers?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I'm not really interested in.
It's okay, you don't have to like every game.
Yeah.
What about this is maybe a crab stick?
Wow. That's actually. I think that encapsulates a 1 out of 10 pretty well.
I just
Actually,
don't. I'm not interested.
just
in
a
the crab
single
stick.
crab stick.
Leftover
It's
crab
not
stick.
it's not even on a plate. It's just like on in the fridge. Yeah.
Pulling it out all slimy.
It's
And it wasn't
behind
even
the jam or
yeah,
something.
you don't even remember buying
I
it.
don't.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to rate it like a flavor of chocolate that I don't like.
Oh,
I'm still getting chocolate, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
And that's leftovers for this time.
Yeah, your options.
Okay, so for the last segment of the Hot Chips podcast this week, we thought we'd have a special order, which is when we discuss something that's off the beaten path of our usual content or, doesn't fit in with one of our other puntastic headlines. This week, YouTube Gaming launched. So that was very exciting. As a person that streams not that often, I feel like I'm not super qualified to give an opinion, but I did have a go with the new interface. I had a go at it. Played some Hearthstone on a night this week and just to see what it was all about. Pretty awesome. It looks great. Feels much like any other streaming software to use. There wasn't anything that was like, holy wow, they've really stepped the game up here. As an entry to the streaming market, I feel like they've done a really good job. It's solid, it works. I have no real complaints about it. The only things that did annoy me slightly were really minor things that I think Twitch has kind of done. So Twitch is the only other service I've ever used. Has anyone ever used?
Big Twitch user.
Yeah,
See, I don't think I've streamed a single thing. Maybe only on PlayStation 4 just to test out what that sort of system was.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Other than that, I haven't done streaming.
Right.
So
Because there are literally hundreds now of streaming software
Yeah.
providers.
Oh, right.
You've got a
websites.
Zubu, you've got, what is it,
Dingers.
Dingers.
There's like
Dingers.
tons.
I like dingers.
Yeah,
Ding it.
Oh, ding it.
Dingers would be
It should
I
be
like
dingers.
dingers.
Yeah.
Right.
Brazier dingers.
Oh no.
Why?
So there's lots of them, but obviously Twitch is the major player in the market.
Yeah,
Everyone
right.
knows. That's what I've used previously, most extensively, though not super extensively. So YouTube coming into the market have released a great release. It's good. Things that bothered me are really small, like the fact you can't pop the chat out. They have like this entirely separate interface where you can watch the health of your stream and
cool.
monitor, statistics and stuff as you go. Which was kind of cool. Like, no, I don't think there's anyone that's really sitting there looking at that.
So is that only
Yeah.
for the person streaming?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so as
yeah.
the content creator, you can
Right,
see that,
right.
and you can kind of see, if your stream's audio is down, or if the frame rate's dropping, or if
Right.
any of that bad stuff's happening, which is great. But usually when I stream on Twitch, I just pop the chat out, have that in the corner of my screen, and that's all I really care about. And if the stream is bad, then the viewers are going to tell me that the stream's bad, and that's. So that's a slight differentiation and where I felt a bit of a disconnect because the chat screen was like this whole other window which I had to keep flicking back to it had video on it and it was a bit weird.
I had a really good experience this week streaming.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
For 5 minutes?
I just like with the software, the streaming software, not so much the streaming itself,
yeah,
but the
so
software
yeah,
stuff.
XSplit was great.
Yeah, so I downloaded the new. I don't know how new it is. I didn't know it existed though, because I had always streamed using the XSplit broadcaster software in past, which you kind of set up your camera, you do all that sort of thing. There's another product that's called XSplit Gamecaster, which actually integrates with your game.
Yeah.
So
wow.
as soon as you start up a game, it says, "Do you want to start streaming?" And then you click it, and then you can actually position the camera and the Twitch
cool.
chat and stuff all on your game's
So
UX,
your
UI.
video your game is full screen or is it still
It could
windowed?
be in
or-
this
It could be
case,
either.
yes, so
I had it
previously-
windowed, but
I've only ever streamed windowed games because of this reason.
Yeah,
right? You can't
yeah.
see all those elements around. I only run one screen. If I had dual screen set up, then I'd stream a lot more things. But so Minecraft and Hearthstone are really the only things that I can do with that window and then a window of chat. So this solves that problem.
yeah. So on your actual game, user interface, you can have your camera set up and move it around like a tile on the game, and you can also you can't do this with YouTube yet, but with Twitch, you can have a little a widget on your game that shows the Twitch chat. So you don't have to have a separate window open for your Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I didn't it's probably been out a couple of months.
It's been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I only gave that a go.
But really cool. It just removes all that unnecessary dual screen stuff that you had to do in the past. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. I like that. So I wanted to use that and stream on Twitch, but because YouTube Gaming was just out, I was like, we have to do it for YouTube Gaming. So I attached my account to that. Attaching accounts is very easy, by the way. Very easy
and
to
switching
do.
is relatively easy too.
Yeah.
So if you do want to run both, it's not hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they don't have that widget for YouTube chat.
Yeah.
So you can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's coming because that's a really cool feature. Yeah. But overall, I really liked the YouTube streaming. I liked it mainly because when you finish streaming, it automatically saves that stream,
that is
and
nice.
you can go into it like Twitch does as well.
Okay.
But it's the interface on YouTube gaming is much easier to actually go to that highlight stuff. You can edit it, and then you can change the title and post it. It just becomes, it takes out that whole step of going, and actually having to put quite a bit of decent effort into go and edit your stream and make it a video clip.
Wait, so you can actually edit the clip?
So YouTube has editing tools in it.
Because I literally tried to do this with my clip and I couldn't.
Oh,
so
really?
did I go past that step?
I don't remember how I got there. I just remember finishing the stream and then going to check it out, and then it was because there was a setting that's do you want to enable VOD or whatever?
Yeah.
So I had that clicked on, and then it was it took me to that screen where the stream had finished, and it gave me all the tools to gives you the color balances and stuff. And
I didn't
all,
see this, so I must have skipped that step completely. Maybe I just closed that window.
Maybe.
Because I now have a saved version of that stream, but it's not edited in any way, and it has the same title that my stream had.
Oh, see, now I could go back and change all that. We'll have to confirm. Maybe we could do a tutorial on it or something.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was very cool, and I thought
because I wanted to check out the stuff.
That's YouTube's strength to me over Twitch. Twitch will always be, in my opinion, a better streaming service for people that just want to stream.
Why?
Because I feel like the way that you go there and you browse, the content's always live.
But YouTube does
I'll go
have
into
that
it.
same...
I'll go into it. A YouTube game just...
Yeah.
Yet. It doesn't yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
This is the same reason. This is the same reason I really like Justin TV over, Justin TV, not necessarily a legal service, but better than kind of Netflix, because I like the fact that I can just browse and the content, I don't have to really think about it. On Justin TV, you could click on any channel and it would just provide you content in the same way like a TV station does.
Right.
And you don't have to be what do I want to watch today?
So we've had this argument before, because I think that YouTube does that.
I don't.
It brings you your recommended stuff based on what you watch. And you just click on it and view it.
You have to put the time into building that recommendation.
Yeah, you do with Justin TV as well, though.
Yeah, kind of.
But because on Justin TV, you could sit there, you could go on, and you could sit back, and you never have to click anything else ever again.
Up next just plays; it just rolls.
Yeah,
over.
but what does up next mean?
What does it mean on Justin TV? Neither is better. You're just
neither is. That's correct. This is my opinion, and I feel the same way about Twitch. To me, seems like a streaming service where I'd go to a streamer and I watch it. I know it's live. I know I can browse for something live. Whereas YouTube gaming didn't have that. It didn't feel like it had that same, these are all the live broadcasters right now. It was much more...
It's right down the right-hand side. You're that guy that gets annoyed when Milo changes the recipe.
That would annoy me, but
That was
YouTube
big.
to me...
Hey, this is Get Salty Part 2 of the week. Heads up.
YouTube to me will always have that feel of it's video-on-demand content. Yeah. It's not so much about the live. The live is secondary to that video on demand.
Is it a case that it's just because it's new and they've just started out that they're not sure what are people wanting from when they first hit YouTube?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's wrong. I think I like that about YouTube.
Right.
And that's why I think it makes sense that it's so much easier to actually take your streams and make it video on demand.
Sure.
I think that's why it feels better to do that on YouTube than it does on Twitch. I can see people putting a lot more effort into doing that through YouTube streams than they currently do on Twitch. Because currently on Twitch, people do it to YouTube anyway.
Yeah.
You stream on Twitch and then you do your video on demand back to YouTube.
Well, it's because they delete your video on demand on Twitch.
Oh, they just get rid of it?
You can only keep it for a month or whatever.
Right,
it's gone.
right.
So
unless you highlight it.
So that's always going to be the strength of YouTube. And I think they've done a really good job currently to start tuning streams into content that doesn't have to be viewed live.
Do you think it's going to have a big impact on the numbers that go through Twitch?
It's going to be interesting. I think Twitch, possibly for streamers that are on a lower level, people that they just want to get their content out and want their friends to watch and share it on social. Oh, really? But I see Twitch having the dominance currently in the esports market and the live big events with the millions of viewers.
I think that's going to move. I think because of at the moment you have so many live concerts and events through YouTube. Yeah. I can imagine that they're going to end up getting the live gaming events.
Well, whoever takes that market is going to be the winner.
Yeah. And YouTube's got the money to do it.
They've got the money. They've got the brand as well.
Underestimate how much money Twitch has.
For example, your parents might know what YouTube is. They're not going to know what Twitch is. And that's the same with people I work with that aren't so much video gamers. They probably have never heard of Twitch before, but they would see that YouTube is now having some gaming stuff added to it.
Yeah.
And so they might, I think YouTube's going to get an audience that that Twitch won't ever get. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I mean, it's the same, who knows? Like, it's the casualization of streaming maybe might happen through YouTube.
Yeah.
I wouldn't underestimate the power of Twitch currently. Like, I think in terms of the resource they're putting in, I think Twitch is probably putting in, more money than YouTube gaming is.
Yeah.
I think they probably have that market in terms of, being able to if you were covering an event, I think they'd probably have a better right to claim that than YouTube would. But obviously, when you're powered by Google,
exactly,
if they can't keep up the momentum, or if they do a couple of steps wrong, obviously they're powered by Amazon. Like, it's like two of the biggest companies in the world going at it in the gaming space, where there's a lot of money to be made. So, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I don't think it will ever be just one.
No, that's the good thing about it, right? Is we'll push both of them to become better, and that's never going to be a bad thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've been reserving everything that I'm going to say.
Yeah,
there's a lot to be said.
Because you do a lot of streaming.
I do a lot of streaming, and interacting with 2am Gaming. Shout out to 2am Gaming.
Every week.
Interacting with 2am Gaming, I've learnt a little bit about how major Twitch streamers can operate, and like how they can interact with their stream and what they can do. And YouTube doesn't do any of that. It's missing a hell of a lot of features.
But neither can Twitch.
Like, what kind of features?
True. And that's the thing. It could grow that way. But
that's almost not a good argument though, because like your competitors already have it.
It's true. Yeah.
And there's a lot going for the fact that YouTube won't actually go in that direction, and that's mainly the idea that it's going towards the mainstream.
Yeah.
It caters to the mainstream, and it can't turn from how I see it, it can't turn YouTube live streaming into YouTube gaming live streaming, which is what Twitch has for the power of the gaming market. So currently on YouTube, when you start streaming, can you check into a game and be part of a games list that shows you who's streaming for that game? You can?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't see that feature, which is the other thing. But the other thing is that it does do for the mainstream market what Twitch can't do, which is streaming things like people do stream concerts and things on Twitch, but it's not known for that. It's not the space to do that. So I think for events that aren't gaming related, that's where the YouTube live streaming thing is going to get a lot more of their market as they develop, and they're going to, I think, develop features around that. But there's a lot of things that Twitch already, like, people have built plugins for Twitch that work for streamers and work for gamers and things. So there's Twitch alerts, which tells you whenever someone subscribed, followed, or liked a VOD, or what it does, like loads of things, donated.
Are those built into Twitch now, or are they still third party?
It's
third party. They pull from Twitch's API.
I think they may have bought out Twitch alerts. I'm not sure though. But Twitch alerts is so powerful, and YouTube has nothing like that at the moment. But it might develop it.
I'm just waiting to see what people build for YouTube and how they allow people to interact with that.
True.
Because they have been pretty open with their APIs.
So it's going to come down to how YouTube says, like, to give people access to actually pull that kind of thing.
And people might rush to create these apps that Twitch has that they want on YouTube. Because they want to keep it on gaming. But again, you can't pop out the chat. You can't see who's joining your stream. You can't. There's no real way to interact with your viewers. There's no great reason to stream right now on YouTube gaming unless you're a low view streamer who's just trying to have fun and get stuff.
Or you make a lot of money off your YouTube channel that exists, and you want to do your content.
And the most powerful thing about it is that Twitch doesn't do VODs very well at all. It can't really handle VODs. You can't upload VODs afterwards with different content and cut them properly. You can only do highlights and stuff like that. YouTube is the VODs place, and that's really powerful because that's how a lot of the Twitch streamers make their money outside of, especially if they don't have subscriptions. If they have a large YouTube following, they get it from
This is why YouTube people make more money than Twitch streamers.
And it's like you can make double the money if you're on both services anyway, because right now there's no monetization for there being viewers on YouTube, as far as I know. But that's all what Twitch is about. So I think the two services will coexist to an extent, and I don't think YouTube's going to take over much of the gaming market as people may think it might. It just doesn't have the platform for doing it and the connections and things. But it could grow into that. And we don't know how things are going to change.
I think it's been out a week, and like
exactly,
the features they have are already really good. Like, and it's
See,
not
I
all
don't think
there.
I think the features they've got are garbage, but they're the baseline of what they need to build into something great.
So here's a question to wrap up.
There's going to be a war.
There's going to be a war.
Because I'm already started to take.
But that's the thing with hot
here
chips.
goes.
I love it all being in the same place. I think that's fantastic. That is the big pull. All being in the same place. You only need to go to one page, one stream, one.
But for now, YouTube might be a little less interactive.
Yeah, it's just not the interactive power.
Yeah.
As people who all work within the gaming industry in some way, here's the question. Mm-hmm. You have to quit your current job and go and work today for either Twitch or YouTube. Where do you go?
YouTube.
You go work
Yeah.
for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to YouTube.
You would also go to YouTube. Where would you go?
That's too hard of a decision for me to
would you
make.
go?
I'd honestly probably go for Twitch.
You'd go
like
to Twitch.
YouTube. You'd go to YouTube in my opinion, for the money. But
Right.
I'm always in it for the work experience.
I'd go there for the job security because I feel like YouTube might not win, but they'll never lose.
They'll never lose. Yeah. You got a point there.
Yeah.
And Twitch might. But I'd go for it just because that's where it had the funnest life and the funnest work experience.
That's actually a good way to look at it because Twitch would have the most to lose out of this competitive market, right?
Yeah.
If YouTube soaks up all their numbers, what does Twitch become?
I mean, Twitch has gone so long now without a real competitor.
Exactly.
And that's going to be interesting now that they have one.
And I think that's really good as well. I'm excited to see how they play off each other because competition breeds, power and success and new things.
It's good for everyone too.
It's really exciting.
Interesting.
The real winners are the content creators.
Yeah.
No.
Get everything everywhere. That's the thing with Twitch. Not with Twitch. With XSplit and with other various streaming things, you can stream in two places at once anyway. So who cares? Freaking just
Do
You can't really interact in two places. at
No.
once.
You can't do
Yeah,
that. No, but you can sort of create an alert or
Yeah.
something that tells people, "Hey, I'm only
Also,
interacting with
yeah.
people on Twitter.
Yeah, true.
On Twitch." But if you're like most big streamers and you've got 6 monitors, you're not going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem.
There's 360 views.
With all the research that I've been doing for Leaping Tiger on the different Twitch streamers that you've found, they've all got this one video. It's like, here's my setup, and they're all like, monitor here,
Wow,
here,
They
here.
actually run 2 PCs.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
have a PC that's completely dedicated for gaming, and they
Yeah.
use the whole of that, performance to actually run that game.
Yeah.
And then the HDMI cable goes off and runs into the other computer,
So they get
which,
Streams the
which
content,
just
yeah.
streams the
Wow.
content.
Okay, cool.
And they can do all the web
Because you
browsers
don't
and
want-
talk to everyone.
Streaming's quite heavy on your CPU.
True.
Yeah.
So they don't want that processing to be taken away
A
from
lot of people don't
right.
realize that. They're like, I've got to upgrade my internet. No,
Yeah.
it's
A lot of people
probably
think
a
like
CPU.
streaming comes down to your RAM and your graphics. It doesn't. It's a processor.
Yeah.
Right.
It actually hits your processor.
But that's what you were saying before about, I'm blanking on it, about, no, I'm blanking.
And that's all for this week. On that, we're done.
And that wraps up our segment about streaming.
In fact,
Yes.
that wraps up second episode.
That does in
Yeah.
fact wrap up.
You've got
our
number
hot chips
3,
episode.
but you've...
Well, no, technically episode 2.
I'm going to unblank in the comments section, don't worry.
All right, thanks so much for joining us once again. Please like and subscribe and all of that good stuff, and we will see you in a fortnight.
All right, thanks.
See ya.
Oh.